Hey, welcome back to Rebel Pilates. Today we're going to be working on our double leg and single leg squat. The first thing I want to do is to find a space where your feet are about hip width apart, your abs are squeezed down. We're just going to start to move. Breathe in, sit back and down, breathe out, stand up. Now through the squat position, you've not only got the hinge of the ankle, you've not only got the good tracking of the patella through the knee, you've also got the hinge at the hip. So all three of those hinges have to be working effectively, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Squat's a really fundamental movement. Every time you stand up out of a chair, it should look like an organised squat, as opposed to having too much kind of movement and disorganisation across our joints. Got about 4 more squats. Breathe in on the way down, breathe out on the way back up. 3, 2, and on the last one we're going to come all the way down into a deep squat. If you have any knee problems, just skip this 30 seconds here. When your elbows to go on the inside of your knees, your hands come to prayer position, and just breathe in and out and hand out there, which for loads of us is a really uncomfortable position, but we're going to work on this mobility around the hip joint. Good, and then come to a place where you're sitting down and then lying down on the mat, feet in about hip width apart. We're just going to warm the glutes up, warm the hips up through some glute bridges. Roll the front of your pelvis towards you, lift your vertebrae, one vertebrae at a time away from the floor. Breathe out on the way up, breathe in as you curve the back down again. So we're getting that little bit of warmth through the glutes, a little bit of stretchiness through the hips and the front of the legs. Especially if you do quite a lot of running or weight training, the front of the quads are sometimes a little bit tight. We're going to work on that length of those quad muscles today. And we're also working on strength of glutes and hamstrings through this exercise. Stabilising through the lower core muscles. 3 more. 2 more. Last time, come to the top, hold it there. Abs squeezed down, neck long, arms lifted, up and above the shoulders. Fingertips pointing straight up towards the ceiling, and we're just going to pulse the glutes up and down. The hips raise a few inches, lower a few inches. So the glutes are starting to fire up a little bit, the backs of the legs are starting to fire up a little bit extra. Abs are squeezing on, so the lower back isn't engaging. Keep that little tuck at the tailbone. 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly roll all the way back down to the bottom. Wrap your arms around your legs, hug your knees into your chest, have a little rock from side to side. And then put your feet down a little bit wider than your mat. Rock both knees over to one side. Back to centre, rock both knees over to the other side, back to centre. Feeling the stretches wherever they happen, normally in and around this hip joint capsule. This is opening out our internal and external rotation through the knees and the hip joint. Just getting our bodies used to those movements. Alright, good. Come up to kneeling. And to start off with, you're going to take a big step forwards with your right foot. Your right hand goes on the inside of your right foot, your elbow on the inside of your shin, and we're just going to have you rock forwards, backwards, and side to side, opening out this little capsule joint around this right hip flexor, getting this left hip stretched out as well. We're mainly focusing on the front leg. If you know you've got quite tight calves, you can have a little work around that stretch. You can bring your foot backwards a little bit, and you can lean some weight forwards, trying your best to keep the heel anchored down into the floor. And as always, we're trying to open externally through these sorts of stretches. To get out of a stretch, the body wants to collapse in. You don't get much of a stretch over there. Some of you might, if you feel a big stretch over there, do it. Most of us need to open up this external rotation position. Next job, we're going to straighten that front leg up. I just want you to bring your toes away from the floor. Straighten your back as much as you can. You can sit backwards a little bit. You're trying to just walk your rib cage forwards towards your thigh. It's getting that big stretch down the back of the right leg. And just have a little play with toes pointed, toes flexed, toes pointed, toes curled towards you. 4 more of those. 3, 2. Good, nice. Right knee comes onto the floor, hands down. Shoulders over the top of the hands, 4-point kneeling position. Left leg extends backwards into 3-point kneel position. Hold that there. Right hand lifts up and forwards. Now we're going to feel this exercise in different places. You're going to feel your shoulders starting to stabilise and work. You'll feel your abs, especially those oblique muscles, starting to fire up. I want you to look for that little bit of work for the right glutes as well. So maybe sit a little bit of extra weight backwards for your right knee. Shoulders away from the ears, rib cage engaged, front arm extended forwards. Now from there you're going to breathe out. Bring your right elbow to your left knee. Flex the back a little bit. Breathe in. Extend away. Breathe out. Elbow to knee. Breathe in. Extend away. Got 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. Abs are starting to fire up a little bit now. The left shoulder's working quite hard. Last one, elbow to knee, hold. For 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Well done. Hands down. Stretch the wrists out a little bit. And when you're ready, bring yourself up into downward dog position. So again, looking for that hamstring stretch. Looking for that engagement for the lower abdominals. Looking for that calf and ankle mobility. Marching the heels down if you need to. Go for number 5, 4, 3. You've got 2 options. You could hop forwards, bend your knees, or you can walk your feet forwards so your feet come towards your hands. And just hang up there again. Hamstring stretch, lower back stretch. Slowly load yourself back up to the top. Okay, so kind of a single leg squat. Your right foot is going to stay still. Your left foot is going to hover away from the floor. It's not a lunge position, so we're not trying to keep the knee directly over the top of the ankle. Through a squat position, the knee's allowed to drift forward slightly, but keep it externally rotated. Back leg lifts, hinge at the hips, come down, maybe hands together, maybe hands out to the side to stabilise. Down, 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 as far as you can. Touch your back foot down to stabilise you, then touch your knee down. Ab squeeze on. Drive back up to the top. Do about 10. Slowly down. Organising that external rotation. Look for the floor of your left foot and then left knee down. And then drive back up to the top. Good, keep going. So you're going to feel the leg muscles working quite hard here. That right quad, hamstring stabilising, glutes stabilising still. Drive back up to the top. Make sure we're getting those hinges, ankles, knees and hips. Neutral spine. Slow movement, get down as low as you can before you need to use that back leg. And then come back up to the top. Maybe you can get all the way down to the floor with your knee before you touch your foot down onto the floor. So the right leg's working quite hard now. Got about 4 left. Slowly down. 3 left. 2 more. Last one. Straight right leg. We're going to practice that hinge at the hip. Coming into a warrior 3 position. Neutral spine, long neck, abs engaged, arms out to the side. And just feel that right glute engaging, abs engaging, shoulder blades stabilizing. 9, 8, 7, the calf will be working quite hard. 5, 4, 3, 2, well done. Feet down, shake the legs off. Breathe in, hands up. Breathe out, fold forwards and down. Hang out there, stretching the hamstring. Relaxing the head, relaxing the shoulders. Bend your knees a little bit extra. Walk your feet backwards into a plank position. Hold plank. Abs up. Long neck. Long arms. Squeeze the glutes. Heels backwards. 9, 8, 7. Quads on. 6. Tense your legs. 5, 4, 3, 2. Well done. Knees down. Child's pose. Good. And then from there, lying down your front, you're going to take hold of your right foot and find your quad stretch. If that stretch is too intense, you can do the same stretch on your side. Just gives you a little bit of manoeuvrability. And if we can do this in our front, you can get into the stretch a little bit deeper. Good. And just hang out there. We've got a good minute 30 here. I'm going to stretch in this position for quite a long time. So just breathe, relax. Send your knee away from you. So your knee's reaching away from the crown of your head. Your right hip is imprinting down into the mat. Trying to get your heel all the way to your bum. And maybe trying to lift your leg a little bit away from the floor. Keep your knees close to each other. Can you extend a little bit higher without loading up your lower back? Keep your abs tensed on. Breathe in. Breathe out slowly. Just for fun, can you get both hands on your foot? Get your shoulders back, away from the ears a little bit extra. If you can't, don't worry. Can you lift your knee up a little bit higher? And your shoulder blades up a little bit higher. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Well then, slowly release out of that stretch. And let's do a little bit of postural work. Hands underneath your shoulders. Chin tucked, elbows squeezed into the ribcage. And we breathe in. Come up into a low cobra position. Tensing the abs on, tensing the ribcage. Try and breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly lower down. So trying to get that engagement at the bottom of the shoulder blades. We're trying to reach the crown of the head away from the tailbone. And we're trying to think about not loading up through the lower back, engaging the lower abdominals instead. If that's the best position for your hands to be in, stay in that position. If you want to work a little bit harder, we'll go hands down by our sides, reaching the hands towards the feet as you come up, lifting the hands a little bit higher at the top, slowly lowering. Breathe in as you come up. Retract the shoulders, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe out as you lower. 3 more. We're going to hold the last position. In 2 more. Last one up. Hold. Send your hands a little bit higher and just start to pulse the hands up, 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 up. Good. Reach your fingertips towards your feet. Tense your abs on more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Well done. Hands down. Child's pose. And just relax the head, relax the shoulders. Sit your hips right back to your heels. Couple of breaths in and out. Lovely. Alright, same as the other side, but now the left foot is going to step forwards. Right knee backwards. Left hand on the inside of your shin. And just like The other side, we're going to try and open the hip out on the left hand side. They'll feel slightly different, so you need to look for the stretches that you need to do more of. If you need to do more of this this calf stretch, just use your weight of your shoulder, just to send the knee down towards the mat and try and keep your left heel down on the floor. A lot of us won't need to do this calf stretch, so concentrate more on the stretch that you need to do. But just forwards, backwards, side to side, opening up the inner thigh. Straighten your left leg. Tilt your body forwards a little bit extra and look for that hamstring stretch down the back of the left leg. Toes forwards and toes towards you. So find the best stretch for you. You'll notice your back will be in flexion, which is fine. Can you get out of that flexion a little bit more? Can you rotate your sit bone backwards a little bit extra? It's going to help you to open the stretch out. So it's nice as we're trying to mobilize to stay dynamic, trying to increase our range of movement so that we can do the next exercise a little bit better. 5 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, good. Both knees down, both hands down, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, abs engaged, shoulders away from the ears, crease of the elbow rotated forwards, engage your stomach muscles. This time it's the right leg that goes backwards. Lengthen that right leg away, tense the abs, tense the left glutes, send your left hand forwards, stay there. And just think about that stability we just did in the cobra. Think about keeping the shoulder away from the ear, the crease of the elbow rotated forwards like you're imagining you're grabbing a newspaper underneath your armpits. Breathe out, keeping that shoulder stable and still not shrugging up. You're bringing your left elbow to your right knee. Breathe in, extend away. So we are going flexion to neutral. Flexion as you bring your elbow to your knee to neutral, not extension. Engage the abs. Squeeze in. Breathe in as you extend away. 2 more. Last one. Squeeze in, hold it there, tense your abs, squeeze your lower stomach muscles up and in, engage your abs a little bit more, lengthen that right arm for 5, 4, 3, 2, well done, hands down, and when you're ready, when you've had a little stretch for your right wrist, come into downward dog. Again, flexing and lengthening through the calves, rotating the tailbone up to the ceiling more so you get that better length through the hamstrings, tensing on the lower stomach muscles so you get that better stability around the joint. And again, we can either tiptoe our feet forwards, or you can bend your knees and go for a little hop forwards. Hang out there. So your feet are now in between your hands. Relax your head down, relax your shoulders down. Take a deep breath in, breathe out, bend your knees, slowly build yourself up to the top. Good. Well then, roll the shoulders out. So again, we're on that single leg squat. Left foot on the floor. This time the right leg is lifted and hovered backwards a little bit. You're going to bend the left leg. Really slow, really slow, really slow. Get close to the floor and then touch your right foot down, touch your right knee down. Drive through the outside of the left heel to get yourself back up to the top. And just keep going. Breathe in. Slowly as you lower down, hinging at the hips, allowing the knee to drift forwards and out to the side a little bit. And then touch down and drive back up to the top. Breathe in slowly down. Breathe out slowly up. Trying to keep the left heel down on the floor. You'll notice if you've got tight calves, the heel wants to lift. Slowly down. Slowly up. Slow the breathing. Slow the movement. 3 more. 2. 2 more, then we're going into warrior. Last one. Good. Long left leg. Body tilts forwards, hinges at the hips again. Right leg lengthens backwards, arms out to the side. Can you tilt forwards a little bit extra so the left glutes can be firing up, the calves are going to be firing up, the hamstrings are going to be firing up, and the quads are working to maintain that length of the leg and that external rotation. 5 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2. Well done. Feet down. Breathe in, hands up. Breathe out, fold. Forwards and down. Okay. Now from there, you're going to walk your feet a little bit wider and just check how this deep squat position feels. It should feel a little bit more open. Good. Press all the way back up to the top. Hands up, look up. Fold forwards and down. Walk or hop your feet back to plank position. Hold the plank. Again, long neck, shoulders back, crease of the elbows forwards, heels backwards, abs engaged. Hold for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Well done. Knees down. Child's pose. Breathe and relax. Come onto your front. Take hold of your left foot in your left hand. Quad stretch. And just hang out there. Breathe in, breathe out. Enjoy that little stretch that's happening. Can you send your knee any further forwards? Can you send your hip any further down into the floor? It helps if you engage your left glutes. You get a better stretch for the front of that left leg. Breathe in, breathe out. Again, can you lift your knee a little bit extra away from the floor? Can you get a little raise of the knee? Can you take hold of your foot with both of your hands? Get that little bit of a deeper stretch. And for the last 20 seconds, can you lift your knee away from the floor? Can you lift your shoulders away from the floor? 5, 4, 3, 2. Well done. Release that. Come into child's pose first. Then 4-point kneeling. Cat-cow. Downward dog. Again, do you want to hop forwards? Do you want to tiptoe forwards? Your feet come towards your hands. Straighten the legs. Slowly build yourself up. Okay, and kind of back where we started. Onto squats. Down a little bit, up a little bit. They should feel a little bit looser now. We should have that better range of movement at the hips, at the knees, and at the ankles. You should feel those deep abdominals engaging a little bit better. You'll feel your glutes engaging a little bit better. We're going to go for 5. We're holding the last one in 4, 3, 2. Sit back and down and hold. Stay there. Now tense your abs. Send your knees away from you a little bit extra. Lift your hands up a little bit higher. Feel the abs engaging to keep the rib cage controlled. 10 seconds here. Last 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Tense your abs. 4. Rotate the knees away from each other. 3, 2. Well done. Stand up. Release the shoulders. Release the legs. Breathe in. Hands up. Look up. Breathe out. Hands to center. Well done. Stay strong. Keep moving.